my name is Bernsey. Welcome to my very first upload. This video is meant to be a precursor to my Wizard101 Let's Play that I have coined the Jack of all trades playthrough. With that being said, I want to go over a little bit of background as well as provide just a little bit of example footage as to what I mean when I say Archmastery within Wizard101. Now, the Jack of all trades playthrough is named that because I had one simple goal: create a wizard that not only specs into a secondary school, but is, in essence, a secondary school wizard. My goal was to fulfill my childhood dream of using one wizard to master all or most of the schools within Wizard101. Now, before the 2022 Archmastery update, you had your school power pips, and at most a mastery jewel that allowed you to utilize those power pips for a secondary school, meaning a dual school playthrough was slightly more optimal. But really, who didn't use those for heal spamming on your Storm Wizard after farming the Mastery Amulet from the Squid and Waterworks, right? Now, upon the release of the Archmastery system, you could change your power pips to match other schools, including within combat, adding an entirely new and entirely optional method of pip utilization within Wizard101. Fast forward to early 2024, and I picked up Wizard101 all over again. Now, I've played on and off since 2009, picking up a second account even, and putting time, effort, and money into that account as well, before moving out of my parents' house at 20 years old. Now that slowed down my wizarding as I really became an adult, met my wife, got married, and now get called a nerd by this wonderful woman on a regular basis, whenever I boot up Wizard101. But I always end up coming back. Until the start of 2024, where I realized that I was looking for a little bit more when it came down to the style and gameplay of Wizard101. I had multiple questing pairs of wizards, multiple solo wizards, and all of them lacked a certain itch that could be getting scratched. So I started doing pseudo challenge runs, a myth minion playthrough that died in Carnotopia because I didn't renew my membership. I even attempted some Wizard101 Nuzlocks, shout out to Zara for his great content that I still go back to every now and then, especially his Wizlock video. These challenge runs really inspired me to do something more with Wizard101. And I was questing through Aztec on my Fire Wizard, and I was trying to unlock Sharpened Blade, which pits you against 3 fire enemies, 2 mobs, and a boss. I ended up utilizing Ice Power Pips to use Frost Giant to help take out the 2 minions before I was able to focus on the boss, making this fight 100% easier. This got me thinking about the more niche uses of the Archmastery system. This led to me creating the Wizard of Oz, or Oz for short. Now, Oz is a balanced wizard who doesn't use any balanced spells. He's trained up Death and Ice, and only uses those damage types, as well as any treasure cards that he can get his hands on. So I wanted to spec into universal damage and resist gears, and how I could really make this a powerful run. Cue the rabbit hole. Now, upon researching the gear for Oz that boosts all schools universally, I somehow came across one of the more unknown, underutilized, and probably underpowered concepts in the game: mutations. I can mutate spells that I will already be learning into powerful versions of spells that have buffs, utilities, and schools I may not have full access to within a single run, and I was hooked. Now I had a gear list, a spell goal, and nothing to do with it. That's when I brought all this up to my wife, and she lovingly urged me to make a video, as I was already talking about doing so. But I had no idea where to start, and now we're here. In the background footage, you can see me periodically changing to Fire Pips for a Fire Elf, Life Pips to use Spirit Armor, and Death Pips so that I could use the Skeleton Dragon treasure cards I brought along, as I forgot to buy Poison treasure cards to break the Death Shields that the Jane Odie likes to put up. This playstyle, while slower and less powerful than the AoE meta within the game, is super engaging. You have less damage and resist, meaning each fight is more of a challenge. You rely on Archmastery at lower levels, so it takes longer for you to hit, but at the same time, you have a world of treasure cards at your fingertips. I have used spells that I had never seen before, just because I found them in my treasure card deck. I swapped to a specific school pip, and was blasting 2 pip Icebird hits that have just as much damage as the 3 pip Evil Snowman spell. This series will cover a number of items, including a total training point breakdown for early, mid, and late game, as well as where to find those training points. We'll also cover gear setups, early, mid, and late game, as well as where to find specific universal gear sets. And then we have the Let's Play. I am super excited to start this series, and to bring you along with me, so stay a while, as I'm going to end this video with an example of some of the mutation spells that I am super excited to unlock, and how they can combo unbelievably well together. And stay tuned for episode 1 of the Jack of All Trades, Wizard 101.